know the deal. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to make sure you guys don't miss this content. My name is Degen Dave. I run a show here on the Chart Hacker channel every Thursday. And they're like, why are you doing a show on your honeymoon? Well, look, I'm committed to you guys. And, this is not going to be a normal 35, 40-minute session. It's going to be a little quick 20-minute, 25-minute, give you a couple alts that I'm looking at that I'm kind of honed in on. And also got a stock for you guys, right? So let's get into what I'm looking at here. Let's get the stage on. Let's go right into banter bubbles. And so, River, guys, that River short was extremely difficult. It's almost like when the market's bearish, there's going to be a lot of, tokens that whales are kind of hedging into, right? Because, if you're a whale and you have millions and millions of dollars into this space, and you keep seeing your portfolio diminish, right? It's like, what is the plan B, right? So, I wish I was in that Telegram group, but, we can only try to get ahead of it if we can, right? So River absolutely exploded there. Just looking at the monthly here, right? So Hype had a nice little comeback there. I noticed over the past couple of days, nice little rally there. For the week, obviously Hype is doing quite well. Gold, crazy crash on gold. So I've been trying to track gold a little bit now with that being on Bitfunded. So again, guys, it doesn't matter if crypto is going to take a turn for the worst. We are going to pivot and find the market that's going to print for us, right? So for the day, just a lot of red here, quite a sell-off, right? So we had FOMC, kind of a nothing burger, and all of a sudden Asia just basically opened it up with some selling pressure. I know a couple days before that, right, Donald Trump said the US dollar is doing great, and it caused this massive rally with the crypto markets, right? So again, it's just very bipolar out there, right? I'm not sitting here excited and foaming at the mouth to trade. Obviously, I'm here on vacation, right? So, but even if I was back at home, kind of like last week, not really like, I got to get into this kind of crypto trade, right? It's not something that's, it's just a lot of uncertainty, obviously. For the hour, we're bouncing, right? So Bitcoin did hit that 84K level, and nice little $1,000 bounce, whatever, right? Is that to sustain itself, right? So let's get into that. Just a highlight from last week, right? I do want to talk about Axie Infinity. We took that trade live, and I said, hey, look, this could be a double play here. And look, I got stopped out, and traditionally I would have laddered in, right? And I should have laddered in, right? So and just to kind of look, right? It was a 12%, bounce from the level that I entered, right? So that's kind of why I like to ladder in. I like to buffer like 3 to 5x leverage, kind of just ladder into it. So yeah, you can see here that it was a nice little 20% dump, and it came right into the 618 point of control here. And if I would have taken this long here, which I didn't, you can see where the stop loss, it was pretty much spot on, right? So, not to just kind of say, hey, I was right, because I definitely got stopped on and I wasn't in this trade anymore, but I did get some friends of mine, like Nagel, sent me a P&L. He said, man, thank you so much. I made so much money on this Axie Infinity short. And so, that's why I kind of give you guys these levels, right? Give you these setups right here. And it's kind of like your job to kind of manage your trade, which is the hardest part, whether you ladder in multiple positions or have a hard stop, right? I know a lot of you guys want a hard stop. But if you would have stayed in, or if I would have stayed in this trade, it would have printed quite nicely, both down and up, right? So that's the Axie Infinity trade. But yeah, let's get into Bitcoin, right? Going to keep it very simple here. Again, like short video, but Bitcoin is very, really at a key level here. What I've done is I've taken a fib from the wick low to the wick high here. And look, we are wicking right onto the 786, 84,336. Nice. And also we have a little bullish order block cooking here. So, if we are to get some kind of balance in the market, I do think that we kind of bounce up into, this 382 region. You have the anchored VWAP, you have the 50-day moving average here. You also have a point of control at 87,850. So this is a very key resistance level. So I think that, if we do get some kind of bounce here during Asia, that this is probably something we want to probably, build some shorts, right? So I think shorting right now is not a good move. We're kind of late to the party, if anything, right? We should have gotten to the shorts, during FOMC. But, taking a look at the top side here, if you were to take a trend line, right? This is kind of what we want to start navigating, is this trend line here. And so if we do get some kind of pop to the upside, we want to see if we do have some kind of rejection here. There is also that potential to break that, retest and then go, right? So, look, if we get some kind of extreme rally, some some kind of relief, and Donald Trump has, you know, some amazing news, right? It's just really based off these tweets these days. It seems like, you know, that 618 retracement would take us to this value area high right around $92,000, right? So, you know, not to say that is what's going to happen, but, you know, that's kind of the upside targets if we are to see some kind of bounce here. Now, you know, there's a high probability that we do get some kind of little relief bounce here and then come and take out this 80K level, which, you know, we bounced here right around November, which is, you know, a couple months ago. So in my opinion, you know, markets are very bearish, right? I think that a lot of people are not getting into crypto these days. It's too much risk, and they're all getting into gold and silver, right? Money is flowing somewhere. It's not into crypto right now, unfortunately. And, you know, when will that be? It could be tomorrow. I don't know. But we're in the space of probability, right? As a trader, right? What's the probability? And right now, I think the probabilities are very, very low. So with that being said, USDT dominance here, you can see we're coming into a horizontal. So this is also why I think that some kind of relief bounce is realistic, right? So, you know, I do have an alert set here at 6.693. You can see I have an alert set right here. So 6.67, whatever, you know, this alert goes off, and, you know, this is probably where maybe 80K, I don't know, or we come in and take out the lows. Asia takes out New York lows, and then, you know, we kind of maybe have some kind of pullback here and maybe get some breathing with the altcoins, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at currently with USDT dominance. All right, so let's get into a couple setups here, right? The first one I want to talk about is ONDO, because we talked about it last show. And yeah, I've just got eyes on it still. I still have this wick here. You know, more importantly with this ONDO trade is that there's some really good news behind it. The unlock already occurred, and there's this level here in, you know, 2024 where you can see that, you know, we had some, you know, I guess let me zoom in here and show you guys, for any of you guys that missed the last week's show. But, you know, these were some highs here back in 2024, right? So a little bit of a struggle here, and I do expect price action to have a serious bounce here once we get here, right? So still patient, not in the trade, right? But you can see that we're getting pretty dang close. And if Bitcoin was to come down and test the 80K level, you know, kind of what that, you know, what I was talking about there with Bitcoin, you know, I do see something like this happening here, right? So I think the zone really is, you know, from 27 to about 29 cents here. So if anything, guys, set an alert right here, kind of start building into the trade, just kind of like that Axie Infinity trade, right? Multiple positions. Once you get confirmation, right, you know, add to the position here, right? And do we get the swing long, or do we get some kind of bearish retest, right? I don't know, but this could be the potential long here for a, you know, swing long, right? So yeah, set an alert right here, call it a massive horizontal, right? And yeah, a low leverage, kind of nibble away at it, kind of build into it. Could take a week or two to play out, but I do feel pretty strongly about this ONDO setup. The next one, which we talked about last week, just kind of a update, is near. So it is in the zone right now. It's definitely taking out those lows currently, right? So this is an opportunity. You know, not sure what it's going to look like here in a few hours by the time the video comes out. But, you know, the other idea here is that we can look at value area low, right? And maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should kind of readjust the building zone here, right, to more of like, we're at entry now, right? So let me go ahead and move these price levels here, right? So it looks like 138.6 down to about 128, and then, you know, stop loss below the value area low, maybe like 1245 ish here, right? So near is, you know, good fundamentals. Again, there's a lot of tokens with good fundamentals that are just taking a beating right now, but you know, near is still on the radar for me, right? Look at the 2 hour, it's looking oversold like crazy here, and it's already taken out the wick, the 1010 wick. Just, you know, a lot of things check off for me here with this near protocol, right? So again, value area low is right here at 288. You can see in the past 2022 we were in the zone. You know, we had some kind of tap here in 2023. We also had a wick or a tap down here at this November 23, right? So, you know, coming down to this level looks really good, right? So I think maybe a little bit more patience, right? Let's get that low taken out here with Bitcoin and start building into a near protocol long. The other one that looks really good here, which is kind of shocking to me, I need to do a little bit more research, but look, on the weekly, you don't really see this. We have a bullish divergence, not a hidden, right? This is a real bullish divergence on the weekly with synthetics, right? And it's created a new low today, a new low, right? Look at this wick here that happened today. 𝗬𝗓𝗢𝗍𝗏. We came and took out this wick low, definitely took out the 10-10 wick, right? It's just looking very bottomed out here. And look, this could be a swing too. I'm always going to think, hey, potential swing here if we do get some kind of bounce. But if anything, this looks like a nice little, bounce level territory here, where we come up and we tap maybe 41, 46, or even this trend line at 43.7, kind of looking at some kind of 12% move, right? Nothing crazy, but it is some kind of move to be had. And hey, if it is the swing, again, this is all-time lows. It could be something pretty substantial here, guys. So, we can see that Synthetix has had some nice movements here. This was just in December before the New Year's, right? So we had the New Year's, and then we had this nice little 40% run into January 6th, right? So will history repeat itself? I don't know, but it looks pretty dang good to me, right? So that's Synthetix. Next one I'll talk about is Beam. So yeah, I was talking to the Lord of Entry, because I couldn't make the Sunday banger with everybody there in the chart hackers, but I just say, hey, look, Beam looks really strong here. And if you guys were paying attention, Beam, during the sell-off on Sunday, pre-market open, it was having some nice volatility, right? We had this from the point of control. We had this nice little 17-18% move. We're kind of just retested into the POC right now. And this is the level I'm looking at, right? So we're kind of also in all-time low territories with Beam. Why did it have strength? I don't know. But, again, this is like all-time low stuff right now, right? So, the 10-10 wick hasn't been taken out yet, right? If you're thinking, hey, I think the 10-10 wick is going to be taken out, that is a possibility. But, we are also forming some kind of rising trend here with BEAMX, right? So BEAMX looks kind of good here, in my opinion, right? Easy invalidation, value area low, right? Value area low would basically be this 2583. So, it's basically some price points here. So I would say if we're still in the trend line here, looks like a decent level, right? If we get that little bounce there with Bitcoin, we should see some kind of run here with BEAMX. Stop loss below these candles right here, I would say, right? So there's a little bit of a window here, but just like Axie Infinity, kind of build into it, right? You never know how it's going to go, right? But looking for something like this in the short term. And look, could be a swing. I don't know. Like Axie Infinity had a nice little run here, but because the price, we're in the decimals with BEAMX, right? These little cute moves are extremely volatile. 33% move just to this horizontal level here, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for with BEAMX. I've got eyes on it. Anything is possible beyond that, obviously. But anyways, I like the strength that it showed over the past week here, and yeah, it's coming down to a nice little retest level at the moment. Other one here is WLFI. Yeah, nailed the short with you guys a couple weeks ago, and it's coming down into a nice little long zone here, right? So I'm not bearish on WLFI by any means. It had this nice little retrace, and it's coming to a nice little zone here. We have anchored VWAP, we have point of control, we have a 100-day moving average, we have a value area situation going on here. I think this is a value area low. And then we have a bullish order block here. So this is kind of the zone here for WLFI. Looking to see some kind of bearish retest, worst case scenario. I've got some kind of rising trend here in play. And so, in the event that Bitcoin does dump just a little bit more, 𝗕𝗔𝗂𝗏 sweeps the lows, right? That is a possibility here. Just looking for this green box territory to be tagged, right? So 618 maybe, and then we get that kind of pop right here into the point of control, or maybe we come all the way up to the horizontal. I'm not sure, but again, it's coming into the zone very soon here. So this is one that is not in the zone yet, right? So give us a little bit of time here, whether it's today, tomorrow, next couple of days, maybe Bitcoin loses the 80K level. WLFI does look like some kind of potential play here, right? So I'm going to put this price note right here. All right, so kind of looking at 1402 to 1492 for this idea. And then, the stop loss, I would say, is 1363, or, maybe a little bit below that, right? Losing the trend, losing the 786, so maybe 1350. 4-hour candle closes below that 786 in trend would be kind of the invalidation mark here. Okay, so we'll keep it very simple. Right, and at the end of the day, guys, crypto, I mean, the markets are just, it's red everywhere. Like, this is insanity, right? It's volatile, so we can't argue with the volatility. It just would have been nice to be in those big shorts. Right. So, yeah, look, that's kind of what I have for the altcoins right now. I do want to give you guys a stock, right? So yeah, if you guys don't know, BitGet allows you to trade stocks, and I've added all of them here, right? So never thought I'd be doing this, but I am, right? So I'm going to I'm going to start TAing the heck out of all these trading pairs here. And the beauty of it is not as volatile. Traditional stocks, I'm going to dive in and test the chart prime indicator and see how accurate it is, right? And so I do have a setup for you guys right now. It's called ARM. Did a little bit of research on ARM as well. They do have scheduled to release its Q3 fiscal 2026 earnings on February 4th, which is here next week, right? Followed by a conference call, right? So if those earnings are positive, I could see some kind of bounce here with ARM. And so, this is what I'm seeing here, guys. I see a 7-8 or 6-1-8 situation. So what I've done here for this particular stock is I've taken a fib from the absolute low here to the high, and you can see how we're coming right into the 618. We also have a point value area low, and then on the 2-hour time frame we have a reversal print that just printed here, right? So looks good to me with this idea. So just kind of zooming in on the 2-hour time frame here, right? Let's take a look, dive in a little bit deeper here, right? So it's pretty much an entry now. I would say the stop loss would be below the hacker zone here, or you could even do the wick low here. Or if you want to wait a little bit, but it's sitting on the value area low. 104.38 is the value area low for this particular stock, right? So 104.31, and looking for some kind of bounce here, right? We have the February 6th earnings report. If it's positive, then I can see us running all the way up here to the 382 retracement to about 133. Obviously, we probably want to take some profits here at the 50-day moving average, and also maybe the anchor view up here, right? So, and then we also have nice confluence up here right around 139. And 139 would essentially be the point of control, 200-day moving average and the 100-day moving average here, right? So, nice little 33% move on traditional stocks. And like I said, I'm going to start diving a little bit more into these guys and see what kind of setups we could find, right? So, in summary, guys, Bitcoin, we're at a very crucial level here, and if we don't hold this level, then I'm looking for, pretty much like this 80K, 81K level. Maybe that's what it is, right? Maybe we come and take everybody out that has their stop losses set here, all the low leverage longs that are sitting here, take them out, and then we get some kind of bounce, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the short term. Again, I'm here in Mexico. I haven't really had a chance to dive in here, but spend a little bit of time here today, try to get you guys some alpha, and we'll see how we go here. So guys, with that being said, look, be careful out there. Markets are, it's a sell-off, right? There's fear in the market, gold, a lot of things that are happening here globally. Donald Trump is constantly coming out with some positive news, negative news, positive news, negative news, right? So again, just be very careful out there. And I look forward to being back in the saddle, doing the normal Tuesday charting sessions, and also the Sunday banger. So I should be back in time. Actually, my birthday is on the 31st, so I fly back on my birthday, and that is the Sunday banger. And I do plan on kind of showing face and seeing what kind of ideas I can give you guys, right? So cheers, guys. Be safe, and we'll see you guys on the next trade. Bye for now.